Hey guys, welcome back to Spilling the RealiTEA with Trisha and Kylie on the Hantz show, where we're going to have all of the latest updates from Big Brother's live feeds. So if you're here for all of the spoilers, then you're in the right place. But if you're wanting to stay spoiler free this season and you're wanting to watch Big Brother just on what CBS airs, then you will need to catch the episode tonight. Come back afterwards and we'll have all the latest tea for you. But not only do we have updates on what's been going on the feeds, we also have some Instagram and Twitter tea. So, Kylie, what's been going on in the Big Brother house?
Well, just continuing of the campaigning for Janelle and Kaser. They're both making the rounds, talking to all the house guests and seeing where things are going to lie. Janelle is, of course, fighting for her big brother life because that's what she does, but it's really the odds are against her. So nothing has changed there. And the most frustrating part of it all is, she has a conversation with someone and they're like they don't even tell her that they're even considering voting for her. They'll just say, "Oh, well, I really like you." And Janelle is a smart enough and savvy enough player that she knows that doesn't mean anything. So as soon as they tell her that, she just crosses them off her list. People are asking her how many votes she has, and she basically feels comfortable with 2 votes. She thinks she has Memphis and she's got Bailey. Um, from what Memphis has said, he told her that she has his vote, but he said he's not going to vote for her. So really, I think she's only got 1, and she needs at least 6 to stay. So not looking good for our girl.
Poor Janelle. Every day we just hope that this is going to get better and better.
Yeah, there was like
And
a little
we had
glimmer of hope at the beginning, but it's
the
dashed.
tiniest glimmer. Hey, we have a few people joining, and just in case we have any new people checking out our show, I wanted to mention that as we go through the show, if you have questions, comments, concerns about the feeds or things that we're saying or something you saw, please hit us with a comment as we go through and we'll pop those up on the screen and talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
Kaser does ask Nicole Franzel where her vote is going, and of course she tells Kaser that she's going to vote to keep him, and he responds with, "Well, I figured," because everybody knows that Janelle and Nicole don't like each other, so there's no way Nicole's going to vote to keep her. Janelle and Ian don't have a very good relationship, and Nicole and Ian are close, so we know that she's not going to get Ian's vote either. And Christmas has thrown around the idea a little bit of wanting to keep her, but she's pretty skeptical about being able to get the votes. So
yeah, she rightfully so is skeptical because Janelle's not going to be able to get the votes, y'all. We're sorry. We're sorry
yeah,
to tell y'all, but it's not happening.
it's not happening. She's got less, basically 24 hours. Um, Janelle and Kaser both campaigned to David yesterday. And if y'all have not been watching the live feeds, it is how these people can deal with David, I do not understand. It is more patience than I possess as a person because he is extremely irritating. He is so pissed that Janelle and Kaser were voting, rallying the votes against him last week when he was on the block with Nicole, which I think this comes from his lack of experience playing the game. He doesn't understand that, okay, yeah, sure, somebody may have not been voting against you or with you the week before, but things shift and change. And they were close with Nicole. And David is like, well, I was close to Nicole too. She told me everything. And Janelle's like, okay, well, what did she tell you? And David is like, well, I just know that y'all were trying to get the votes against me, and I didn't like how in week 1 you said that Kevin, right, and then you were campaigning to keep Keisha, and so Janelle is like, Janelle's like, well,
Um,
yeah, Keisha was my friend, but I wasn't willing to like blow up my whole game over her week 1. So
and it also like comes off. So yeah, then they go into like Nicole
yeah,
and like him being also upset about Nicole Anthony, and it's like, so did you want her to vote against you? Like, I'm just confused.
yeah, I don't know what he wants. He's just a really really terrible player. Forever Sunshine says that David is a terrible player, and like that is breaking news. News alert. This is the truth. He is a terrible player. And I feel like production is going to look back on this decision to have David in the BB All Star house and really regret it. He's
Yeah,
bad.
he is playing Camp Comeback as Big Brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's also talking to Kaser, and he asked Kaser, he says, well, if you come back, what will you do? And Kaser's like, come back from where? And so, in Kaser's mind, come back means to be evicted and to come back into the house. But David's game experience is limited to Camp Comeback. So for him, in his mind, like, okay, these people don't leave. They go to Camp Comeback and they're going to be back in the game or have a chance to come back in the game. I don't even think he completely understands how a regular season of Big Brother works. And so Kaser isn't completely coming out with what he's going to do because David straight up says, that he doesn't trust Kaser or Janelle, that they're both liars. And so Kaser, he's asking Kaser who he's going to nominate, and Kaser's like, I don't know, I'm not coming after you, but I'm not going to tell you my targets. Like, you don't even want to work with me. I'm trying to work something out here, but you're not willing to.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's just not working out. Janelle is really trying with that. I just knocked my mic off. I'm sorry, y'all.
So
Janelle is real.
exciting.
I'm just so pissed. My hand it won't stop moving. So Janelle is really trying with David. He's not in a formal alliance with anyone because everyone thinks he's a shit player, which is completely accurate. And Janelle's not getting anywhere with David. So I mean, all she got out of that conversation was that David doesn't trust her because she was friends with Keisha and voted her out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to get more into David with what he also did later in the evening in a little while because, like, destructive David, like, that's what he does. He just goes around and he destroys things.
Dumpster fire, David.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a
Y'all
good
just
name.
drop us hit with some comments on good names for David.
Yeah,
What
because
his new Twitter handle should be because
he's a mess.
moving on. So Janelle doesn't get anywhere with David, but she goes to Cody and says, Cody, please, what can I do to work with you and prove my loyalty? So Cody's pretty much like, sorry, you're gonna go this week. Sorry, like
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do. And Janelle's like, I'll give you my wedding band.
Here you go.
She proposes to Cody and says, take my wedding band to prove my loyalty. Like I will do whatever. And Cody is like, bow, bow.
Yeah,
Nope,
shoots it down.
rejected.
Yeah, it's not feeling that, so she doesn't get anywhere with Cody, and that's pretty much how all of Janelle's conversations go. Like I said, she has the same conversation with Enzo, trying to figure out where he's at, and Enzo is just like, "Oh, yo, do you have the votes?" And she's like, "Yo, no, I got two." And
And she tells Enzo, so her pitch to every single person pretty much is like, if I can get 5 votes, will you be my 6? That's like her
yeah,
pitch to pretty much everyone.
yeah,
And so she, says it to Enzo, and he's like, I really like you a lot, Janelle.
yeah. That's a surefire way to know that they're not going to vote to keep you. And
Yeah.
obviously, Janelle understands that and can read right through that.
Yeah. So Meow Meow ain't voting for Janelle.
Yeah. Womp womp.
Yeah. So then, speaking of Cody, he compares Nicole to Brittany when it comes to the relationship with Ian and saying that Ian will do whatever Nicole wants.
Yeah. And he's probably pretty accurate. It seems like, it seemed like last week Ian was a little bit open to working on the Janelle and Kaser side of the house, but this week he's like, no, there's no chance that I'm voting to keep Janelle. He's completely distanced himself from Kaser, so Nicole's got Ian in her back pocket, and if they don't separate them, they're going to continue to be a duo that votes together. And so they're kind of starting to see this could be a problem, and we're going to have to take out Ian sooner than later.
And so Bailey is having this conversation, like she's in there when Cody's talking about this, and she has a light bulb, brilliant idea. Wouldn't it be better if we keep Janelle to go after Nicole? And
or
then Cody
Ian
says, oh, well, I don't think that's going to be necessary. Kaser will do it. Ah, we're so close.
Yeah, we were so close to getting a little bit of traction. Bailey is really starting to see some things and how things are lining up in the house, and that's going to make her dangerous to the other side. And that's saying the other side. We also have a conversation with Davon and Bailey where they are talking about, they keep saying the other side of the house, and they're like, but who is the other side of the house? And ultimately there's not another side of the house, because the majority of y'all are in a big revolving alliance. You just don't completely realize it. And so there's not another side of the house. You just kind of have David and Kevin and Kaser and Janelle left on the outside.
Word to the wise. If you don't know who the other side of the house is, you are probably the other side of the house.
Side. Yes.
Someone put that on a banner. Get that flying across Big Brother backyard. And yeah.
Wake up, girls. Y'all are in trouble.
Okay, so then Janelle goes to Tyler. And she's like, hey, Tyler, am I going this week?
Is there anything that you can do to help me?
And she's like, please, I won't come after you. You're not my target. Is there any way you can pull your friends in and help me?
Yeah, and she even says, I am not coming in this house to evict Tyler Crispin and then have all of the Tangela stands go on and leave me some bad Yelp reviews on my real estate business. And I am not trying to vote out Tyler because of how popular you are. And, I want to go after these floaters, like use me, convince people to keep me so that I can go after Kevin and David and these other people that are just floaters.
Yeah.
And, I didn't expect to win this game. She even says, I came in to make a cameo appearance, and then I'm okay with going out, but I don't want to go out week 3. Like, I want to play, and she hasn't gotten that chance yet.
Yeah. And she goes on to tell Tyler, and she's like, I don't want to take you out. And she's like, that's not my legacy. That's not it. That's not what I want out of this. This still doesn't really get anywhere with Tyler, but you know.
Tyler's like, I can't do this. And if this was further on, like maybe I could try to push things around, but in week 3, I cannot stick my neck out there and try to push for you to stay because it's what the house wants. I'm so tired of hearing what the house wants. Like
we're
that,
over it.
Tyler's gotten some heat on Twitter because he made the comment about how old school Big Brother is not as fun as new school Big Brother.
Whoa.
Yeah, and in addition to all the fun tweets that have been out there, we're going to also say that one of the good things about old school Big Brother is not everybody felt like they had to vote together. Like, people had their own minds and they voted for who they wanted to stay, but we don't have that now.
Yeah. But
everybody's got to vote together.
The Twitter trend of Tyler saying this and all of these old happenings coming out, like it's like Howie didn't almost cut what's her name's neck off for Tyler to say that, the old school is boring.
Yeah, and Dr. Will and Daniel Reyes and Chicken George and James Ryan didn't break out of the jury house and go get drunk and sing karaoke for Tyler to say that old school Big Brother was boring. And
It's my
so
favorite Twitter trend of 2020. The best thing to happen in 2020 so far is Tyler saying that and this Twitter trend.
all the old school Big Brother moments that it's bringing up.
Yeah. So shout out to Tyler. Keep that energy throughout the season, please. We need all the good Twitter trends because 2020 effing sucks.
Yeah. So obviously with Janelle leaving the house this week, that's going to be the third girl in a row. So girls are being evicted left and right.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's going to change after Janelle goes because next week's targets are Bailey and Davon.
Yeah, so Bailey and Davon have, especially Bailey, she made the comment to Nicole about the 2 guys and 2 tries, and that has Bailey on Nicole's radar. Davon is just, when she's coming into their Slick Six Alliance group meetings, she's just really sitting back and taking information in and not putting as much information out. That's got Tyler kind of sketched out, and Dani is targeting them. So Bailey and Davon are setting up for a rough week if they do not win HOH next.
Of course, Dani is targeting them and is suspect of them because Dani and Nicole F are pretty much men trapped in female bodies and are wanting the females gone. Like, I don't know if they don't realize that they are girls, but again, we talked about this yesterday. What happens when Bailey and Davon go? Who are the next females that have a target on their back? It's you 2. Hello.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean,
the expectations I had for All Stars at the beginning of this season were here. But Big Brother All Stars has come way down, way down. So to say we're disappointed is an understatement.
And we even have Janelle say that on the feeds last night. She says that in the DR that production has said something to the effect of how they're not happy with how the season's going. And of course they cut to stars like, oh shit, we don't want that to get out. But that they have to be like, okay, we've made some massive errors here. Massive error number 1 is bringing in Janelle and Kaser as a duo and not surrounding them with anybody else that's going to be any type of threat. And then glaring mistake number 2 is David. Like, whoever thought, hot take, David knows. He has a read on this BB21 house. Hot take, David needs a chance to play. Well,
why they did not force him to what? It's their fault, though. Yeah. Why they did not force him. Okay, David was a recruit. So what that means for anyone who doesn't keep up with Big Brother at the level me and Kylie do, aka stalkers of all things reality TV. What that means is they found him on Instagram or whatever. He was some hottie. He was recommended, and they pulled him in. Okay, so he didn't apply. He didn't know what this show was. Okay, you get a pass. Season 1, you get a pass. You come on to All Stars. You were in quarantine. Why didn't production make him force Big Brother down his throat? I don't understand. Yeah. I'm confused. What a waste of time and what a waste of space we're seeing here on Big Brother with David.
And so one great thing that happens on the feeds last night is David's complete destruction. And someone over here suggested that David's name could be No David. No David, like the kids' book.
That's what we're all saying.
That's great because David is really, really awful. And so we know that last week when Janelle and them were campaigning to keep Nicole Anthony over David, that they talked with with Bay and Day about it. And right off the bat, Bailey was kind of open, and Davon was like, no, absolutely, I cannot do that. I cannot vote out a black man. And she pretty well stuck with that. But then Davon has this conversation with David, and she asks him if he's in an all guys alliance. And David is like, well, yes, I'm working with guys. And Davon's like, okay, well, who? And he's like, I can't tell you. So she's like, okay, you're super sketchy. And so it kind of makes her waffle a little bit about maybe going and voting him out. And so this is where we get that traction of Davon possibly voting to keep Nicole Anthony, and where it looked for a little while like she might have the numbers to stay. Well, flash forward to this week. Bailey and Davon sit David down to have a little discussion with him.
Yeah, so they're like, hey, guy, we have your back. What's your problem, pretty much, is what they're saying. And they think he's lying, of course, about everything. And so David tells Bailey and Davon that Janelle mentioned Davon was trying to campaign against him last week, which wasn't true. She was just pretty much, like Kylie said, just pretty much kind of questioning her decision just because David was black and because he is playing a shit game. So he admits to them. I heard this from Cody and Tyler.
Also.
Yeah, but
so
I
not
didn't,
just Janelle.
Yeah, so then he's like, but I didn't believe it then. But now that Janelle said it, I kind of believe it. And so then Davon's like, I'm gonna go check on this, homie.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm gonna go do some fact checking. Mm-hmm. And David's like, no, don't do that. Just, you need to take my word for it. Don't do that. And Davon is really upset. She's like, I may have ruined my game over this man, and he is tanking.
She's like, I put my neck out for you. Like,
yeah,
I did this for you, and this is how you repay me? Are you kidding me right now?
Right. And so as these three are having this conversation, Tyler comes out of the DR and he sees them together. So when the conversation breaks up, David goes up to the HOH room and Tyler is like, hey man, what did you say to them? And David's like, I told them. I told them that you were one of the ones saying that Davon was campaigning against me. And Tyler is so pissed and is like, F, dude, what are you doing? Like, I told you not to say anything. This is going to destroy my game. And David's like, no, it's okay. Trust me. I'll tell him that it was Kaser. That Kaser is the one that said it. And Tyler is like, whenever David leaves the room, he's like, I am so completely effed. Like, I had just built up this trust with Davon. We know the previous day that Davon and Bailey and Tyler had formed a final three. And that really was kind of good for him to have this solidified. And now this is going to cast so much suspicion onto Davon about Tyler, because now Davon's not going to trust him, and they're supposed to have a final three, and also as a bigger part being in the Slick Six. So Tyler is like, this dude sucks.
Yeah. So Davon is worried about Tyler. I mean, Tyler's worried about Davon winning HOH. He thinks that, okay, well, she's definitely going to put me up now, which really, maybe she'll put up David. At this point, y'all, we think that David might be a twist because there's no way that he's actually this bad at the game.
And he even says it to Tyler. He says, I thought I would be a lot better than I am.
We all did, David. We all had very high hopes in you, and you have by far been the biggest disappointment in this house.
Yeah, you're pretty much terrible.
Oh my God. All right, so on staying on the David track here, Janelle tells Bailey that she thinks it's dangerous for her to work with David since he gets stuck on these little things and can't grasp basic game concepts. So Janelle's pretty much telling Bailey, like,
abandon ship.
Abandon ship. He went to Janelle and told her that he doesn't trust her, but has no facts to back that up. He's just literally like making up reasons in his head why he doesn't trust her. And Janelle's like, Bailey, girl, you need to get out of there.
Terrible. And if y'all are not following whoever is running David's account on the outside, you need to, because whoever's running it, they're like, look, we know he's really bad. And yes, he should have studied the game. But, you know, trying to put a positive spin on things. And so this is going to bring us to our tweet of the day, which is going to be from David's account. And whoever is running it is just doing a great job. And the tweet says, when Tyler gives the I'm not mad, I'm disappointed dad talk. And that's reality. This is what's happening to David. He's like a little child that people have to explain things to and break it down when they should be playing an all-star level game.
David's face literally is just, oh shit, at all times, because he is tanking his own game and taking everyone down with him.
Yeah.
So dumpster fire, David. It doesn't end there. Like how he has conversations, y'all, is so bad. I wish that we were making this up, and I wish he wasn't such a huge topic, because like he's not even on the block this week. Y'all, we can't make this up. So then he goes to Kevin, and he's like trying to now. I feel like he's trying to make up things to like credit his story of like Davon was like going after him, and he goes to Kevin and is like, did Davon try to campaign against me? And Kevin's like, no.
No, she didn't.
No, that didn't happen. She was actually, like for you. So then he goes to Davon and he apologizes. He said he's dumb for even thinking about it. He didn't believe it, but he had heard it from 3 people. Supposedly, I'm air quotes, because we don't know what David hears at this point. He just makes stuff up and goes with it. Anyways, and so yeah,
it's pretty much destroyed any relationships that he had in the house. Davon and Bailey don't trust him. Tyler doesn't trust him. So someone in the comments said that he's like a lock for the final 5, and that he's going to be that person that just gets dragged around. And yeah, that's probably true. Why get rid of him? Because not a single person would ever vote for him to win. So you might as well just keep him around. He's going to be like the Victoria of the season.
But God,
so frustrating.
There has not been a worse player. Like, name one. Yeah. There's not one. He's at the top of the list. Worst player ever. He
like the only other person that's even in his realm is Devin has a daughter, and at least Devin was like playing the game. He just was playing it way too hard and way too fast on like night 3. So David is not playing the game. He's just there, and he's, he wants people to respect the fact that he is neat and he cleans up after himself. Like, this is not BB1. Nobody gives a shit if you are actually a good house guest.
We have a comment that says, well, damn, I didn't even know this BB was happening. Sheesh. And I'm like, y'all, I don't know if CBS is ever going to show us this piece of David, but it's happening. He's so bad at this game. And I'm kind of thankful that they're not showing this piece of him, because he's on my draft team, because I really had high hopes for him. But y'all, he's playing a game of Camp Comeback. This boy, he don't know nothing. He also asked, we might have touched on this yesterday, but he says, what's a double eviction? Y'all, like, okay, that's just a compound. That's just 2 words. Let's put it together. You know what an eviction is because you've seen 2 of them happen. What does double mean? Double means there's 2.
2 people.
2 at one time. Yeah. So yeah, he's a lost little soul. I don't know how many planes it will take, how many carrier pigeons, bullhorns it will take. But production needs to have a talk with him. They just need to pull him in the DR and show him some old
They need to just exit him out of the door. Just open the DR door and just let him go. The show would be much better without him.
Yeah.
What a waste of an all-star space. Yeah, really disappointing. I mean, if they had to bring back a first eviction, why didn't they bring back like Cameron, who was a super fan and would have killed for this opportunity? But no, we get David.
Well, we didn't know. In CBS's defense and my own shit, he's in my draft. Yeah. We didn't know. Y'all, I mean, oh my gosh.
It's terrible.
Y'all. Okay, so hopefully, I don't know, CBS may never
Justice for
show this.
Jody. Yeah, Jody would have been a good option. Anybody, Glenn, like any
Anybody.
of the other
Summer
night
of
one
Steve.
evictions.
Steve, wait, we could bring him back. Shit. Anybody would have been better than David. But we didn't know this. Okay. We didn't know. And y'all just put it in the universe. David's going to get better. Okay. He's going to
No,
learn. Big Brother's going to slap him in the face. He's going to be like, oh, this is how you play.
no,
Okay.
it's not going to happen.
Kylie, stop. So, anyways,
Um,
Janelle ends the evening saying, David sucks and he's so bad at this game.
yes, just for real. He is. Bill asked, "Hi, ladies. Can you guys address Dani buying Janelle's BB7 finale dress on eBay and wearing it for the BB8 finale? People say she has a single white female obsession with Janelle." So, Trisha, do you have this
um,
picture?
Boy
We've got it.
family.
We've got a side by side picture of them. Like, I never even realized this, but Homegirl did. She straight up bought Janelle's dress and wore it on her finale night. This is so odd.
So odd. And thank you, Reddit, for producing this side by side. So good. Yet she gets in the house and gets to play with Janelle. And
Yeah.
and Janelle thinks that they're friends, but
Yeah.
Dani is not playing with Janelle.
Right. And Bill also says that in her pregame interviews that she said she wanted to dethrone Janelle as the BB queen. Well, sorry, Dani, if you wanted to have dethroned Janelle, then you needed to have come in and played a game similar to Janelle, not
Or you need to play with her. Like
right, play with
play with her
her
and
and
beat her.
backstab her. Yeah, I mean, and he brought up, Denise doing that with Sandra on Survivor, and Denise made a baller ass move and voted Sandra out with her own damn idol. And Dani is playing the rat Andy's game as opposed to taking the crown from the queen.
We
So
talk
what
about
you're
David.
doing,
We talk
that's
about
not the
David
energy.
not playing. David not watching any seasons before he came on. Not any ever in his life. But Dani watched Andy's season. Andy played a great game. She's now copy pasting. And I think that was the wrong move for her.
Yeah, that's not going to get her Janelle's crown. So unless she has a better back half of the game than the early part, no, you're not snatching the queen's crown.
No. I hope Janelle also pulls a Sandra Diaz Twine and wears a crown to the
Zoom reunion.
Zoom. Yeah. On a lighter note, just a little quick update on Christmas and her children. Her mini star baby pillows are having a little nap, hanging out. She hasn't gained any more babies though. Like in the last, she is
Yeah.
still at 13, right?
Yeah, she's got 13 babies.
And yeah, so still hanging in there. This is, I know we harked on this a little bit yesterday, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I just want to throw it out there to the universe that I didn't think I would like this punishment at first. I thought it was kind of weird, but it's quite humorous.
Yeah, it got more entertaining the more babies that she got. Like, it wasn't that funny when there was one, but when there's 13 and she has to, feed each one, and they each one have to tell her that she's a good mommy, and yeah, it's kind of entertaining for a few days. So,
We have a comment here from Alex that says, "Wait, can we talk about Nicole saying she cuddled with her mom until she was 16? Are we
okay.
really surprised?"
This explains so much as to why Nicole is the way she is, because this is not okay.
Yeah, she doesn't have any guys there to cuddle with, so she's just gonna get rid of all the girls and hate on Janelle.
Yeah. Louis says, just wondering why everyone's hating on Dani. Low key missed the first part of the season. So, basically, the Dani hate is coming from the fact that we know that her and Janelle have a pre-existing friendship, and so when we were seeing who was moving into the house, we're like, look at this. We're going to get some of these old school Big Brother players, Janelle, Kaser, Memphis, Keisha, Dani, they're going to come together and they're going to run this shit. And then obviously we see Memphis and Dani like straight off the bat not working with that side. And so basically a lot of the Dani hate is coming from the fact that she's not willing to play with Janelle, but then also just the type of game that she's playing. You know, at this point she hasn't won any comps, she hasn't made any moves. All she's doing is gossiping, and she goes in one room and has a conversation. She leaves that room and goes and spills what she just talked about with whoever she's now in the room with, and it's just getting old. So
Yeah.
that's the Dani hate for right now.
If you watched Andy Herron's season, that is the exact game she's playing. She's sitting in rooms, she's planting seeds, she's taking information in, and then she's relaying it to other people. And people, I mean, the majority alliance, and we saw this, in the Paul season where there's this majority alliance and they're just running the whole game, and it's freaking boring. So we thought, as Dani would be a Big Brother super fan. She has played on 2 seasons prior to this, and we just had our hope. The problem is, Louie, that our hopes were too high. That's why. That's why she's getting all the hate that she's getting. If these were all new players, probably wouldn't. We would probably say she's playing a great game. Way to go to her for studying.
Yeah.
The problem is our expectations were too high. That's really what the issue is.
Yeah. Bill says Dani is purposely targeting AFP preseason, almost like she wants to have a shot at winning it later on. And, that might be what she was thinking, but if only she knew how pissed everybody is, in the words of Paul, that she is going after Janelle and Kaser, and she's really not getting a lot of screen time either. So
she's not.
It's not going to work out well for her.
And maybe she will later, but that's why, guys, it's so important for you guys to keep up with the feeds with us so that we can tell you what's actually happening, because CBS is not going to air all of this.
Right. They have a story to tell.
Yeah, they have a story to tell, and Dani is currently not a part of that narrative. Right. So Alex says Janelle for AFP. Janelle for AFP, y'all. We're not changing our vote.
First pre-jury AFP. That's what we're
gonna make her break another record. So everyone vote for Janelle. We're gonna say that in the closing of our exit of our show every day, and hashtag vote for Janelle for AFP.
But, this obviously can change, because we do still have some people in there that we got some hopes for. Kaser, maybe Bailey, maybe Davon. There's still a little bit of hope that it can be turned around, and maybe we'll see something good come from someone else. So
our actual hope is that the puzzle is used, the Caitlin Herman puzzle comes back, and this is new hope. Okay, I'm manifesting this right now. Caitlin Herman puzzle comes back. I'm just going to pop this up on the screen so everyone remembers. Caitlin Herman puzzle comes back, okay? Listen to me. Caitlin Herman puzzle comes back. It has all of the cast, okay? And Janelle is in the room. That was the safety suite. It has all of the cast. Everyone has a puzzle. And she picks the person that she wants evicted instead and builds that. And if she completes it, she stays and that person goes. And it's David, okay? Manifesting it right now.
What I saw on Twitter that somebody suggested is that we are going to see that the safety suite has now become like a secret room, and when Janelle is evicted, Julie's going to be like, "Congratulations, you are the first one that gets to go into the secret room," and that is what that's what we have to hope for, is that there's something there. Production has to. I don't want them meddling in the game, but give a girl a chance.
We can only hope. So we're manifesting that between now and tomorrow. We need all of you guys.
Put it out there.
Yeah. Hashtag manifest with T. Hashtag. Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yes. Tag Big Brother. Tag us. We'll retweet it all day. Our Twitter is at RealiTEA_TRHS. It's happening, y'all. All right, so that brings us to the end of our episode. We do like to be quick and just quickly give you the updates. So thanks everyone who joined us for comments today and interacted with us as we move throughout the show. Please hit us with a thumbs up hit us with some more comments of things that you're seeing. We have some more tea to spill. We'll spill that tomorrow though. So a little teaser for
Hopefully.
tomorrow. No, we have some tea. Yeah, hopefully we can share with you because we unfortunately are located in the East Texas area. If you can't tell by our accents, and
Yeah, we live on the Texas-Louisiana border, and there's a hurricane literally coming up the Texas-Louisiana border. So
yeah.
we're hoping to have electricity tomorrow. That may not happen. So if you don't see the show posted, then we're in darkness.
Yeah, we are without power, without internet. I will say we can do Instagram live from our phones. So
Yeah.
go follow our Instagram because if we can't do the show live on YouTube, we'll do it from our phones. So go check out our Instagram. You'll get a notification when we go live at RealiTEA_TRHS. So hopefully we can bring you guys the tea tomorrow. But like I was saying, if Hurricane Laura doesn't take us out, then we have some tea on all the latest happenings with the racist texts that were released, the latest tea on the relationship between Kat and Holly. So some things were going down last night, and we want to share those with you. So check us out tomorrow. Be sure to hit us with a thumbs up. Hit us with the subscribe button so you get those notifications on YouTube. And don't forget to tweet us, tag us, and everything that you're seeing. We'll be sure to pop those up on the screen. Funny pictures, whatever you see. We want to interact with you guys and our fans. So check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll be back hopefully tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. Cheers. Bye, y'all.